What's going on, guys? This is Angelo from Tunerspotting with our first how-to video and review of a product. Our product that we decided to choose is the 3M headlight restoration system. Justin needed to get his headlights restored, so I figured why not take a hack at it. So the product being right in the middle, the headlight restoration system, this is everything that it comes with. So it comes with 500 grit sandpaper, 800 grit sandpaper, 3000 grit, the sponge to put on the compound, and the directions. What I decided to do is literally go direction by direction, not looking anything up online, but physically only taking what it offers and taking anything that it needs other than online resources to take a hack at this, just to see how this would come out, make it fair game as though we couldn't use the internet. So this is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please give us a thumbs up and tell us what you think about this video. Alright, real quick, right before we get this video really going now, we need to decide what we need. What we need is a drill, a spray bottle full of soapy water, a microfiber cloth. Make sure you have a bunch of these, not just one, probably 6, 7, maybe even 8, and a cup full of water. That will be ready to proceed with working on the headlight. So what I'm just going to do is spray over the headlight. Like I said, this is all soapy water. Take one of our microfiber cloths and just start wiping it down. Get everything that we can off of it. Again, this isn't going to be perfect, but this just make the next step that much easier, and that's what we're going to be doing the whole time, just making the next step that much more simple. Alright, guys, now we're actually going to move into restoring the headlight. So we're going to take our drill and take this bit that comes with the package, install that drill piece, and then we're going to take one of the yellow 500 grits and we're going to install that to the outside of that. Once that's all on there and ready to go, I'm going to show you guys how to do this next portion. Hold down the headlight, or if it's on your car, you're going to be taping around the edges, making sure that if you ever were to slip over that you're not hitting paint, because it's a 500 grit, it will rip off paint. I'd say if you can, take off the headlight, but if not, like I said, just tape around a good edge. Make sure that you're not touching the headlight, but enough room that you're also not going to be touching the paint. So you're going to be taking this with a good, it should be around 1,000 to 1,200 RPM drill, so one that can really move and apply medium to light pressure. You don't want to go right through this thing. You're going to be able to rip off a lot of the plastic if we do that. And you don't want to go at too much of an angle, but you don't want to go dead on. It's harder to control that way. So a slight angle, you're going to be able to control where your strokes go, and you'll see how that works right now. Take your time with it. You're going to end up going over everything more than once. There's some awkward edging on this, right around these corners, right around this right here. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera, but there's a whole lip right there. For that, you really got to angle it there and really get that inside of there when it's on. So I'm going to continue doing the rest of this, and you guys will see how that comes out in a minute. So you guys understand what we're doing. We're literally scratching up the surfaces. It looks horrible right now, which is a good thing. Taking the 500 grit, we're scratching up all the surfaces, taking away all the blemishes, literally eating through them. And if we see more, like I see a little bit of one right here, I can take this and a little bit harder over there, and I can literally watch it disappear. Yeah, it's adding more scratches, but that's why we're going to go with a finer grit later on and really take out all the imperfections and then end up polishing it by the end of the video. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to get around this little lip. So around this light right here, he has a good bump up and then a bump down, and there's a lip around this whole entire thing just like that. You can probably see it where I outlined it. So I'm going to take my time with it, take the corner of it, and if you guys ever see that the pad's getting pretty dark like this, just take it off, grab a new one. It gives you a bunch. Don't be afraid to use them. I used about 3 on the last one. I'm on to number 2 on this. I'll probably be on to number 3 in a minute. Good to go. Get around these edges real nice. Take your time with it, really scratch them up, because that's what we want to see. Scratching means that we're removing all the imperfections behind it. Move the headlight if need be. Get all around here. literally watching some of these scratches just get removed and some of the little bumps out of it get taken right out. Go a little bit slower RPMs because you can take a lot more out when hitting it with this corner. But really get all around that. And you'll be good to go for the next step once the rest of the headlight's done. Take one of my microfiber cloths now and wipe over this whole entire thing. We want to get all the gunk off of it that we can, all the excess shavings. And then once that's done, you'll feel, yeah, it's scratchy, very light, fine scratches. Really wipe this thing good. But feel for any big imperfections. Like I feel a dot here. We're going to want to hit that again before we go into the next step. I feel some up here. And a couple down here. I'm going to hit this all one more time, all around those little spots, and make sure that everything's kind of the same level as the rest of it. Make sure that all the bigger portions are ripped out because that's what we're going to be wanting to work on next time. Alright, we're on to the next step, which is going to be the 800 grit sandpaper. So it's the white sandpaper with the purple writing on it. Headlights where it was last time you guys saw it. We're going to be doing the exact same thing that we just did to the headlights. So going over the whole thing, feeling for little imperfections again, and if we have to, go over the whole thing again. So same thing around the edges. Make sure you're gentle around the edges, but make sure those edges are hit because they're a pain in the butt, but they need to be hit. Alright, as you guys might be able to tell, there's a lot finer of a haze over the whole entire thing. This is after the 800 grit sand. So we're doing the same exact thing. Just wiping off the cloth, kind of shaking it out. If you want, use a second cloth. It's a lot finer of a haze, and everything's looking a little bit better. A couple areas I see I need to hit down here. But again, feel over the whole thing. Alright guys, so this is the next step. It's all 800 grit all over it, very smooth. You might be able to hear that in the video. Feels good. Ready for the 3000 grit. So we're going to be taking this little rubber pad. We're going to be sticking this on there, and this is where the cup of water comes in play. They say you can use a spray bottle, but I found a cup of water. It works a little bit better, keeps it a little bit more damp. It's going to be a wet sand, so we're literally wet sanding this whole entire thing. So I take my cup of water, barely dunk this thing in there. Make sure it's not dripping off or anything. And then we're going to hit the whole entire thing, and I'll show you a little section just so you guys see how it helps immediately. You can already see the difference. You might be able to see it starts getting a little bit drier. Keep this thing wet. It's a wet sand for a reason. You don't want to miss sections and hit it dry because that can diminish the life of the grit paper itself, as well as affect the outcome of the headlight and how it all looks. So you can kind of see it's getting a little bit dry here, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to get it wet again, I'm going to finish up the rest of the headlight. So I'm going to wipe it all off and show you guys already this thing's starting to look a lot better. There's a haze over it, which is totally understandable. This is why we have to polish. So you go over this whole entire thing, and if you see any of the marks, I see some of the marks up here, a couple of marks over here from the 800 grit sandpaper. That's what we're going to want to take the 3000 grit yet again, wet sand it and wet sand those areas again, so this thing's as smooth as we can get it, and prep it for the next step, which is what I'm going to do right now. Alright, we're on to the last step now. We're going to attach this orange piece. I'm going to put about a dime-sized droplet of the compound that it gives you onto it. We're going to end up hitting this whole entire light. This stuff is what makes the magic happen. So I like to kind of dab it a little bit here and there. It keeps the head wet. Keep it slow. The faster it goes, it can spin it all off, and you're just wasting compound. It doesn't give you that much. Wish they gave you a little bit more so you can do more than one set of headlights, but it seems like this is just a one-time job, even though they give you enough grit paper to do a few sets of headlights. So if you start hitting it, you can really start seeing immediate clarity in the headlights. Get over those areas. And I'll show you guys what happens after I hit this whole entire headlight in a couple of seconds. Alright, so I hit the whole entire headlight again, as you guys are seeing, so let's wipe it down and see what we got. A lot better. This is looking a lot more like a headlight. I can still see some small imperfections, but again, this isn't going to make your headlight brand new. It's just supposed to help out a lot. For buying this through 3M, I'm definitely very happy. I actually picked this up at Walmart and never ended up using it for a while, and decided when Justin was taking apart his car, why not give it a hack? And I'm definitely happy with it, and I hope he is too. So if you guys want to check this out, I mean, this headlight's very clean, very sharp. There's some very, very, very small scratches in it from the 3000 grit, and I bet if I polish this thing up maybe a couple more times, you can't even hear it. They're nice. This came out really good. Polish it up a couple more times, this thing will be perfect. So I'm going to do that a couple more times, and I'll show you guys the very final step and what to do after that. The last final step, what it tells you to do, which is just a recommendation, but I'm going to do it just because it prolongs the life of the headlight, is a little bit of the compound just onto a cloth. It's a little dime size, so figure no more than that. It's probably a little bit too much. It says wipe it on and wipe it immediately off. It basically makes a clear coat layer over the whole entire thing. So I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. It says wipe it right on over the whole entire glass or plastic headlight. Put it on for a second, flip this cloth inside out, so we're cleaning it now, and wipe it right off. Doesn't really look any different, but adds a little bit of a smooth factor to it. Maybe like a little gloss factor as well. That's going to protect this headlight a little bit longer. And that's really it. I'm liking how this is coming out, guys. Alright guys, to finish up the video, overall this product is great. As you can see, the headlights on the back, other than the clarity of the video, you can't really tell at best, but they came out amazing. This is everything that basically comes in the package, as well as the directions, which I have to the side. I definitely recommend getting it. You can find it at AutoZone, you can find it at Walmart, and probably a couple more places, as well as finding it online. It's only like $13 or $15. Definitely a recommendation if your headlights are a little bit beat as well as yellowed. This will definitely fix it up. It only will take you about an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes for both headlights together. First one might take a little bit longer just to learn, but honest to God, this thing is a pretty quick process, and it's definitely worth it if your headlights are beat. So I definitely say good job to 3M. A recommendation to them maybe being put a couple microfiber cloths in it so you don't have to buy your own as well with this kit. But other than that, this kit came all complete, ready to do maybe one or two other headlights. So basically good for 2 sets of headlights, and that's about it. So it's not a bad kit for 15 bucks, and I definitely recommend getting it. Thanks guys for watching. Please give us a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. If you guys have any questions or requests, please let us know in the comments below. Feel free to email us. All emails will be in the information box below, as well as a link to where to get this product. Thank you guys so much. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys want to see more from Tunerspotting. Thanks guys.